We are at Sagardi restaurant across from the Zarzuela Theater in Madrid. Sagardi is a Basque restaurant, and we had a very nice dinner here the last time we were in Madrid. So we made reservations here, and we're going to have another very nice dinner. It's early for Spain. It's almost 8 p.m. Their average dinner time starts at 8 p.m., but most people don't start eating until 9, 10, 11 o'clock at night. Spain is a late town. So we're back here after 3 years. We decided to come at 8 o'clock on the nose. Restaurants here in Madrid, they open at 8 p.m. So if you come at 8, usually the Spanish people have not come for dinner yet. And your restaurant is usually going to be empty, especially if it's a local type restaurant. Yeah. This is yes, it's the two of us. It's a Basque type restaurant. The entire restaurant's empty. So it gives us the ability to just go crazy. We want to run on the ceilings, we can do that here. You know, not a big problem. There's nobody here but the waitress and us. Young is already craving the chuleta. Chuleta is...
Last time I had the chuleta, it was very, very good.
Yes, that's a Basque-style steak. Yeah. And the Spanish cook steak like no other culture that I know of. Yeah. They take these cows, these aged cows, and they basically char the outside of the meat and leave it almost raw inside, really red rare. They coat it with olive oil and salt and stick it on the flame until the outside is burnt and the inside is rare. And it really winds up being a delicious meal. Yeah. And Young's going to get that. I am going to get what's called the solomillo, which is essentially filet mignon with candied peppers. And we're going to start out with some artichokes. We're going to have ourselves a nice Rioja wine, Sagardi Euskal. It's a really common wine. Even in the U.S., you can find it everywhere. They've got the Reserva here, so we're really looking forward to trying that. Para uno. No, only solo. Está bien, yes. Con pimientos.
Pimientos.
Y sal y...
Ok. La chuleta hacemos poco hecho, ¿vale?
Medio raro.
Okay.
So we were going to get the chuleta for Young, which is essentially like a porterhouse steak, and the solomillo for me, which is filet mignon. But apparently the only chuletas available are for 2 people.
I think that's what happened last time.
Okay. So we wound up both ordering the chuleta. That's what we're going to get. Años. Y mi español no es muy bien.
Muy bien.
Pero 3 años pasaron más mejor. Gracias. It's got to open up a little bit, but it's really good. You do see this wine in American supermarkets quite a bit, but you don't see the reserve version of it. It's usually the regular version of it. This is the reserve Sagardi Euskal. Yes. It's a little closed down in the bottle, and I say it probably needs 5 or 10 minutes to open up, but it's a really nice, tasty, full-bodied red wine. It's one of our favorite wines. I have many favorite wines. Right? Nice. And this is going to go really well with a good steak.
It needs to be opened up a little bit.
Yep. The dinner with some nice sausages. We got some bread. By the way, for those of you who don't know, in Europe, when they bring bread, they will charge you for the bread unless you tell them you don't want it. We want the bread, and their bread is so good, it's worth paying for. So we're fine with that. and some sausage. This is very similar to a Hawaiian-style Portuguese sausage. It's very good.
Really? Oh, it's Portuguese.
Isn't that good?
Wow.
Amazing sausage.
Whoa.
See what I mean? It's a lot like a Portuguese sausage in Hawaii.
Whoa.
This is a woe sausage.
So crispy. Wow.
And the bread, as always in Spain, is
Wow.
always very good.
So tiny sausage and cooked in the both sides. So crunch. Need to find out what kind of sausage is this.
I think she said it's
Spectacular.
chistorra sausage.
Spectacular. I want to find out if I can get it from store.
Okay. One thing, you go to a Spanish restaurant, you can eat a lot of the stuff made right there. These are artichokes, artichoke hearts. In Spanish, alcachofas. This is Spanish jamon, ham. And for those of you who have not tried Spanish ham, it's very much like a prosciutto, except better. It's better, and it's rich. You look at the fat, and the fat is, they feed these pigs with acorns, and you can taste the acorn in the flavor of the jamon. Now, they've served us artichokes with jamon on it. And this is actually a very classic dish that you get at the beginning of a Basque meal or a Spanish meal. And it is wonderful. The two of them go really well together.
Beautiful.
Okay, now by American standards, these artichokes aren't like cooked down to the point where they're mushy and soft. They're still very chewy. They have a lot of fiber to them. They have an interesting flavor, almost like a pine flavor or a pine cone flavor, and that's just the way they seasoned it. And it goes really well with the salty ham, and this ham is probably beyota ham, which is one of the higher end hams that has a really rich acorn flavor to it. And the two of them play off each other really well. But it does take a lot of chewing, so I did chew quite a bit before I could actually talk to you guys. But it's really good. And of course, my wine.
Jamon is absolutely tasty. You can taste the jamon. Oh my God, I can't even see through this, how thin. This is so thin. It's actually when I'm holding it with my hand, temperature from my hands is melting. It is just, oh.
Now, I made the mistake of ordering artichokes with jamon, knowing how much Young loves the jamon. She's going to eat the jamon right off the artichokes so that I can't eat the two of them together.
Oh, I'm sorry.
But it's okay. It's okay. I'll
Jamon
live.
is so good.
I know jamon is always good, and this is really good jamon.
¿Vale? Si necesitan calentar, yo me lo llevo, le hacemos
Very
un poquito
nice.
más o calentamos.
Yum.
Yum.
Gracias. So this is the first of many steak dinners we are going to have in Spain. They really do this right. Now, like I said, they char the outside of the steak. They leave it rare on the inside. We ordered this one medium rare.
Yeah.
They'll salt it. They put some olive oil on it. They put it on an open flame until it's charred. And they serve it with candied pimientos or peppers. So it's essentially pepper candy. I know, she said it was hot. I wanted to show them how good this is.
Yeah. Look at this.
Okay, now, for those of you who are vegetarians in the group, you have to look away.
Yeah.
But for Elizabeth and those of you who are meat lovers, you have to look at this.
What? I take it out. Do you remember when I tried the chuleta for the first time?
Yeah, your eyes rolled back in your head. You went into convulsions. You liked it so much.
Yeah, I love, usually I love steak. But when I taste the chuleta in Saint Sebastian for the first time, and I was blown away. And I started, after that, every city we visit, oh my God, how rare that is.
But it's just rare enough. You should try some of the candied peppers. Muy bien, sabroso.
Can we have the salt and pepper?
Sal.
Salt.
Sal is salt. Pimiento is pepper.
Okay.
You should try some of the peppers.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Sweet.
It's got the pepper flavor. It's not spicy. It's very sweet, but it's got a strong
Not
pepper
spicy,
flavor.
but it's really,
Olive oil in it. It's very, very much candied peppers. Just delicious.
thank you.
Es como pimiento bombón.
She brought some salt.
Yeah.
I'm gonna add some salt. She likes that. This chuleta, I love so much, so soft.
Yeah.
Is the temperature warm?
Yeah.
Not spicy.
No. It's a really nice
This is
accompaniment to the
spicy?
steak.
I mean,
No,
the-
it's not
the
spicy.
pepper?
It's pepper. That's
Red pepper.
the red pepper, right? But it's not a spicy red
But it's
pepper.
so
It's like
thin.
a pimiento.
You can't even
Pimento.
tell this is red pepper. Look at how thin.
It goes really well with the steak,
Wow.
right? It's a good combination of the two.
Oh, I love steak. Oh, I might finish the whole thing all by myself.
Oh my goodness,
I know. Isn't it scary?
that's very
But-
scary.
But so I haven't eaten red meat for almost a month. So I think I deserve it.
It's hard to describe the flavor of these peppers because it's not like anything you see in the U.S., but the pepper itself is charred. So they charred the pepper and you get the charred flavor, but at the same time you get the sweetness of the pepper and the pepperiness. It's not spicy, but it's peppery tasting. And then they cook it in olive oil, and so the olive oil makes it
Absolutely
really
delicious.
tender. It's really sweet. It's delicious. It's really a wonderful dish. Yeah, I don't know. And you will see this in all of the steak restaurants. We're going to go to several steak restaurants while we're here in Spain, especially up in Basque country. There's a steakhouse up there called Casa Julián de Tolosa, which is known to be supposedly the best steakhouse in the entire world. And we are going to be going and having steak there. And they also serve these peppers. And they're known for their steak, they're known for their peppers, and they don't do much else. But here, this is a Basque classic dish. It's delicious. It's something we love doing when we're in Spain.
You know, I dip in my bread.
Yeah? Oh, your
It's
bread in
olive-
the olive oil.
Yeah.
That could be good.
Yeah, because the red pepper infused the olive oil.
Right.
This is why we travel.
You know, during the pandemic shutdown, we couldn't travel much. Prior to the pandemic shutdown, we were traveling 3-4 times a year. Places like this, places like Thailand, places like Korea, everywhere,
Much
and all
cheaper
over
at
the
the time.
U.S. Yeah, and it was cheaper then. Now that we're able to travel again, we're starting to go out again. We'll be doing a lot of these in different countries. We will be going to Thailand around Christmas time. You know, we are doing Spain this trip, but we'll do some other trips too. We've been talking about South America. I don't know whether we're going to get down there or not, but at some point we're going to try.
Yeah, we're gonna try.
You'll see on this channel experiences from all over the world.
Yeah, but every culture cook beef differently and taste amazing in different way. But my favorite way to cook beef, of course, bulgogi. That's number one.
Of course.
Yeah. I think my number
What about
two.
kalbi?
No, I think bulgogi is
Bulgogi's better?
Yeah. And then number two, I think is chuleta. Number three is a big juicy steak in United States. Yeah.
We are full of wine. We have lots of wine. We emptied the bottle between the two of us.
I know.
Young drank it all. I didn't drink any of it. I had 3 glasses.
Yeah.
I
This is
tend
good
to
wine.
prefer Spanish wines because you always get
Yeah.
good value from a
Yeah.
good Spanish wine, especially a Rioja, one of my favorites. Yeah, the restaurant is still empty. The theater across the way, she was
Yeah.
telling us, it gets out at about 10:30, and then we
Yeah.
wind up having a whole crowd is
Yeah.
going to come in here and
In an
pack the
hour.
restaurant.
So we have an
just about
hour.
an hour. We've got an
Just
hour
for
to ourselves. And again, we get to dance around the restaurant and do all kinds of stuff on our own.
I just wanted to say, since we are doing YouTube, you guys, Spain is a really good place to come to travel. Nothing is really expensive. People is so nice. Wine is just so inexpensive compared to the one we have in United States. And what else? The food is just amazing. The reason food is just amazing, people really care about the food.
The
guys see
countryside is
museum?
gorgeous. No, you didn't mention the museums, and the museums here are great. We definitely think the Prado is the best museum. Yes, this is a Basque apple tart.
Oh.
And it's got apples and a little crust on the bottom. And if you look at the ice cream, you notice it's whiter than our vanilla ice cream.
Oh.
And that's because it's probably a nata ice cream. Which basically they take the milk, they boil the milk, and the skin comes to the top. They take the skin and they make ice
Whoa.
cream out of that. Oh, that's very nice. It's very buttery. They're basically making ice cream out of the butter fat of the milk. So good. Very rich pastry crust on the bottom. Massive apple flavor on the top. And that beautiful buttery nata ice cream on top of that.
Just visually.
Just a wonderful.
Yeah.
I don't care about how it looks. I care about how
I care
it tastes.
about how it looks.
It's very common in Spain. They bring you the dessert, and then after the dessert, they bring you your coffee. So those of us from the U.S. who are used to having coffee with our dessert, you're not going to get it here.
So you gotta hold on your dessert?
No, I'm not going to hold on to my dessert. I'm going to eat my dessert, and then I'm going to get my coffee. That's just how it works. Just expect it, live with it, learn. Of course, for those of us who get desserts and whose wife eat their desserts before they get a chance to eat it, that's just life. Learn it, love it, live it. Spain is a favorite country of ours. We come here. Before the pandemic, we used to come at least once a year, sometimes twice a year. We really love this. I went to college for a semester in Spain and fell in love with the country back then. And then when Young and I were dating, I took her here, and she fell in love with the country when I took her here. And we've been coming back ever since. It's a great place. We are at Sagardi Euskal.